the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, taking a look at Bajoran favors today. Something that many of you have been asking for quite a bit, and it's been a slog because man, y'all been working like 4 hours a day. It's tough. Hopefully you've had your coffee or whatever it is you drink from your mug. Today we're talking about the ones I think that are relevant. Also want to point out that, hey, you finally got your announcement on the Mantis path. Now, this is something that we as content creators had discussed with them for a few weeks now in terms of where the sourcing was going to come from. And obviously the reason that we couldn't say anything is, as you can see in the little intel in your news bracket, is we'd like to announce a brand new sourcing addition to Infinite Incursions coming this month. An exclusive event store which will be available for the first time, have different rewards like Strike Team Officers and Mantis ship blueprints. So here's now your official, here's what's going on, and I'm really curious what everybody thinks about this because I know Incursions has mixed reactions. I will also tell you now, there are more Incursion changes coming soon based on your feedback. So if you're one of those players that's like, hey, I hate Incursions, it's the worst thing ever. In fact, if Scopely ever runs an Incursion again, I'll quit the game. I'll be back 3 days later, but I promise to God I will quit the game. Yeah. One of those people, well, now there's going to be more reasons to actually participate and more rewards to actually do so. And if you felt offended by that mocking, just know I joke around a lot here. It's a bunch of goofballs. I mean, it's what we do, and I'm really good at jokes. That was also a bad joke. In fact, if y'all remember, we actually got on our Twitch page, we have a book that we read from, Exceptionally Bad Dad Jokes. So we embrace the cringe here. So there is your sourcing path. Hopefully y'all like it for the Mantis. And I do not have information of how many shards you're able to get. I did try to ask that. I inquired. I was not told how many you're actually be able to procure each incursion's run. So for running incursion once a month, which is the current plan, and that's been what we really fought hard for, and that did raise the happiness success rate of incursions. My goal is 50 per. Half of a Mantis per. That's my goal. It'd be nice if it was the entire thing, but half a Mantis I think is semi-fair. It means it takes you 2 months. It means that you would unlock it before December. I don't know what it is though. I'm just telling you, this is the new path. And let's go ahead and talk about these Bajoran favors, because I think value-wise, and you've got these events coming around for them, it's important to start discussing what has the most value. There's short-term value, long-term value. We're going to focus on short-term first. Now you can see that I've unlocked 2 already. The first being Prophet's Prize and Prophet's Reward. Now, why did I go with Prophet's Prize? Increases loot rewards for Dominion hostiles. I'll go ahead and tell you in terms of importance, this is not a super important favor. But why did Rev do it? Rev did it simply for the fact that I hate the time in the game, and this is an immediate time saver. That is why I chose it. That's literally the only reason I chose it, was a time saver. Now, if you look at the style of some of these favors, you'll notice they start to follow kind of like a pattern. See how like it looks like a little spinning top or like a dreidel or something with the rewards, the prize, and you got Prophet's Tribute and all of these. Well, there's a reason, because they kind of follow a theme. Prophet's Gift is adding daily gold chests with Syndicate XP, which that will be pretty valuable once you get to it, but you got to have a pretty decent rating there. Then the refinery, the gas refinery. The ones that are shaped like these little dreidels are arguably the most valuable ones. Prophet's Reward probably being the one I recommend people go for first, because this increases all loot for solo armadas. All of it. All of it. Yeah, everything. And it's just a flat 50% boost. So this is going to be big for you as you're going through the tree. Remember, we talked about the value of, for example, the material claim credit, if you want to use the Bajoran credits, but the real value was going to these actual loot exchanges. And here you're guaranteed 175, but also the ship parts that you need, more Bajoran credits, the diplomacy tokens, which you'll use as you continue to wrap up, where I'm currently, guerrilla working my way to militia. And once I eventually get there, I'll get further. But now that I'm level 40 plus, I've got officer sourcing in my rare exchange. So going through in terms of importance literally is as simple as focusing in on these type of icons. Now read through is kind of obvious. There are some that I don't think are as valuable. Prophet's Tribute being one. It's one that you can get early on. It's pretty cheap. Adds Ultra Recruit tokens to the 24-hour chest. Now, Rev has been, along with Ultimate DJ, fighting for this to return to value. In fact, if y'all remember on Twitch the other night, me and DJ were there. We were talking about spending your ultras, dumping what you have now to incentivize Scopely, using this as a new mechanic, which will eventually make Prophet's Tribute a valuable favor. At the moment, it is not a valuable favor, but it will become one if DJ and Rev can continue to push and continue to get traction on what we're trying, which is dumping everybody's horde of Ultra Recruit gotcha tokens. Some of y'all have got 200, 300,000. If we can get the entire play base, because the entire play base as an average had well over 100,000. If we get that down, then we can start convincing them to run ultra events and running leaderboard events around this currency. And then that's going to start having value. But look at the themes of the actual look of the favors. Prophet's Gift with the Synced XP, obviously that's going to be big. And then the mining ones with the refinery is going to be huge. G4, G5 getting a huge boost here. 50%, even at level 1, that's obviously a lot of value. You want to work through that. Now let's talk about the other ones real quick. I love Bajoran construction, increasing cost efficiency, par, steel, titanium, and lithium. Realistically, though, not super important, but I love it. As you level up, you'll notice the cost gets really high. I do want to point out things like base damage and base health. You have a lot of things in game that already affect this. You know, for example, look at Bajor's Rage. Maxes out at 250% bonus for whole health. If you remember, a 3-star ship officer bonus is 300%. So this doesn't even max out to an officer bonus for a 3-star ship. Doesn't mean this isn't important, but in level of importance, this is a little bit later in the game. You start worrying about this. Your favors kind of focus on how much impact can you get immediately. Now come down here, you get some other different things like cost efficiency for your Stella. For a newer player, low-level player, Outlaw's Advantage is actually pretty good. And if you're somebody like Rev, who is just continually, you know, taking forever to get around to doing that, it's a good one to go for. A good one to go for. Outlaw Reward 2 needed Militia. I'm kind of waiting for that for Prophet's Reward 2, but Outlaw's Advantage for a newer or a mid-tier player who still has not maxed out their Outlaw tree. This is a very, very good one. Even starting at 10%, maxing out at 50 has value. Now, if you're a later player, that one has almost none at all, obviously. And y'all can debate over the values of that in the Discord. Material trade route. This is one that's probably the most important ones to go after. Increases cost efficiency of crystal, gas, and ore for buildings. If you are a player heading into the 40s and 50s, you will notice that a huge amount of resources are needed. This is tremendous. You might go 10%, doesn't sound like a lot. Well, when you back out and you take a gander at what it'll cost to get to some of these buildings to a higher level. So let's just look at the R&D department or the academy. So my academy to go to 44 is 24,000 uncommon and 2,400 rare. Pushing to 46. So that has immediate value. So let's just go ahead and go through these real quick, and then we'll kind of like rank them. Officer training drills. Officer stats are always good, but this is like an intermediary importance. You've got a lot of things in the research trees, in the away team tree, in the territory tree, galaxy tree that do that already. Critical hit chance against players for PvP. This is very late game. Please don't worry about this too much. You literally have Honor Guard Wharf. Don't worry about this till later on. Decreases opponent's critical hit chance. This one, again, okay. It's like a slightly better Sela. Don't worry about that till later on. Bajoran faction reputation gains. This one, actually pretty decent value as you're trying to level through this one. But not the easiest to go ahead and get, as you gotta, 1900. Maybe not the most efficient game. Maybe play a little bit more patient. Akira's Fist for piercing values. Not the biggest fan of this one, but it's okay. It's not that great. I would say that it will combine very well with things like 6 of 11. But overall, I would say put your focus into it. Then we already talked about some of these. The Tetrion max capacity. I will admit, this one, I will get at least the first one. Tetrion Abundance, I will at least get the first one when I hit favored, just so I can have more of that stored up. Won't really increase the rate that you procure it. Keeps more that you can store, and I will admit I like that. Then finally, critical hit damage against players. Now, this one actually has more value. This one, not the critical hit chance, the damage one. This is big. for if you're running critical builds. And then last but not least, decreases critical damage. Also a really good one. Now let's talk about order of importance. Profits reward probably being my primary. Profits prize for time saving is very, very good. If you're willing to go through the spend to increase your rep gains, Paw Ascension is a good one, but all due to saving you patience. Come back up real quick. Anything like cost efficiency is huge, but particularly love material trade route. Love this one as a deficiency. For a newer mid-tier player, love Outlaw's Advantage. And honestly, Rev's probably going to go ahead and get that one too, because Rev's been sucking that up for a while. Rev really needs to get better. So you know what? Here, right now, Outlaw's Advantage, done. Rev's doing it. Rev's making moves happen. Look at Rev go. Isn't it amazing? And then you look at some of the others, not that they're bad, more mid-tier, low-tier, following those later. But focus on Profits Reward, focus on Profits Prize, mid-tier, focus on Outlaw's Advantage, and then look at material trade routes. Another one, even though it's expensive, that one is 100% worth it. And then build through these. And I'm very, very curious to see if y'all agree with my thought process on the value of the favors. Comment down below what you think the most valuable favors are, and hopefully you like the Mantis news and everything else. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next one. We out. Whew.